I'm Mr. MegaManFan, and welcome back to the PC Engine Files, where today we are taking a look at Cyber Knight. This is a game that comes with a warning right off the bat that it is, quote, intended for experienced role-playing gamers only. Well, I'm experienced. I've been playing role-playing games since the 90s, but without an English language patch, it's going to be a difficult proposition, even for an experienced gamer. But first, let's get into the background of this game. It is a sci-fi game for PC Engine and Super Famicom that combines exploration with strategic combat. The random encounters are considered to be especially high, even compared to the kind of experience you would have playing Final Fantasy games, which is why it's stated that it's for experienced players. The combat sequences are ponderous, as is the plot, as you will see from watching my gameplay footage, because there is an inordinate amount of cutscenes that are heavy on text. I swear, like, the first 5 or 6 minutes of this game is just computer-generated cutscenes with apparently some sort of space battle taking place. It feels like it's straight out of Star Wars Episode 4, where they're trying to shoot down the lone ship that has escaped with the plans for the Death Star. But there's no Princess Leia, there's no R2-D2, there's no C-3PO. It's just you, the Cyber Knight, and your fellow Cyber Knights, and they're trying to gun you down, and at the last second you make the jump to hyperspace. 3, 2, 1, go! And you escape the battle, and you end up at a planet that looks sort of like Earth. And after I fumbled around with the menus for long enough, I figured out how to land the ship on the planet and get out and explore the Earth. And that's where the whole thing about the high number of random encounters kicks in. That's not really a problem for me. I don't mind random encounters and leveling up and getting good. It's the fact that there are invisible walls everywhere. Once I landed the ship and tried to explore, I could only go a few spaces in any direction before a warning popped up that said, you can't do that. Don't try to go there. You're not leveled up enough to go west or east or north or south or anything beyond what you can see. It's a very clearly invisible wall because it looks like an empty field with grass and trees, but you can't go there. Why? I don't know. Unless I get an English language patch, I don't know what the restriction is, but can't leave this area. So I finally gave up and just started walking around, seeing if I'd get one of those high number of random enemy encounters that was promised in the Wikipedia entry, and I did. And it's pretty standard fare for an RPG. You just pick the enemy that you're targeting and pick your weapon, and you can kind of just mash the button repeatedly, even without having an English language patch. You just go bing, 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 select target fire, just over and over and over and over and over again. And you can win the battle. Although I did have one of the 3 characters in my party take a significant amount of damage from the enemy guns, whatever they are. He got down to like 4 health, so I was in a little bit of danger here, but there's also a town nearby, so I'm sure I could go there and heal. But then again, without the English language patch, I didn't know which buildings to go into or where to go to get a night's rest and pay the innkeeper. Is that even what you're doing, though? I mean, they say it's for experienced role-playing gamers, but this is obviously in the future. It said like AD 2351 or something, so maybe we're getting these mech suits repaired by some sort of engineering expert to restore our hit points. Perhaps Winry Rockbell is in this game. So whatever you do, you've got to recover your health, level up, get items, make progress, but it is very unclear how to do that because I just wandered around this one and only town I could get to, and just talking to the random NPCs who aren't wearing Cyber Knight suits doesn't seem to advance the plot or get me anywhere. There's only one building where even anything remotely interesting happens. At first, these 2 guards show up in front of the building and they're like, "You shall not pass!" And then they talk amongst themselves and they're like, "Okay, I guess this guy isn't a threat. We can let him in." And then you go in there and you speak to a bunch of people. It looks like it's the mayor's house or maybe the king of town. King of town? Maybe he has vats of butter to eat and he's too busy to talk to you. So you just don't really get much of anything here. If the English language patch could explain what you get from talking to the people in this building, wonderful. But it's not like it levels you up or offers you a night's stay at the inn or gives you any items to improve your Cyber Knight suits. I'm guessing this is all just exposition for the plot, and this game is very heavy on that. Finally, out of frustration, I just went to Wikipedia again and tried to figure out what the hell is going on in this game, and it says, in the 24th century, mankind has reached into the expanse of outer space, but the Earth has already disappeared as the center of human civilization, and each star system has become its own independent nation that long forgot where they came from. This sounds like the plot of Isaac Asimov's Foundation trilogy, but there's no psychohistory here. You can guess where this is going. All these independent nations in all these star systems go to war with each other, and space pirates fill the void between these governments, trying to rob the ships that go between the star systems because it's already unstable and everything is in flux. So, your crew is apparently the starship Swordfish, and as I suspected, you are making the jump drive to get away from space pirates at the beginning, and only 26 of your crew survive thanks to the heavy attacks that you were receiving. So then you go down to the human colony that is under attack and try to help them and try to help yourself at the same time. What would help me is figuring out why there are invisible walls everywhere, but until I have an English language patch, I'm going to leave it here. I'm Mr. MegaManFan. As always, thank you for watching.